Hello again, and thanks for your continued support. In my last post, I continued the discussion on our intellectual nature, which I call the battleground. I stated that it's central to how we live out our life in this physical world. What I mean to say is that too often we unquestionably rely upon the direction it provides us. And it's this unquestioning aspect of our three-part nature that I'll discuss here today. We must understand that our intellectual nature in and of itself is error-prone. How many of us have made and followed through on a decision that was based solely on our intellect and contrary to what our instinct told us? And later we regretted that decision, shaking our heads and saying, "I should have listened." I know I'm guilty. How many of us know really smart people who continually mess up their lives by making dumb decisions? You know, there really is a difference between book sense and common sense, don't you? We just have to know when to apply which. Our intellect is a valuable tool, though, especially in areas such as schoolwork or applying specialized knowledge to solve problems. But when it comes to solving life's problems, the intellect by itself isn't enough to get the job done. We need to team it with other aspects of our nature. Allow me to provide an example. I owned a successful information technology company that was recognized by Inc. magazine and included in their Inc. 500 list of the fastest growing privately held corporations in America. However, one year I was having a really tough time, and it was touch and go as to whether I could even stay in business or not. Luckily, we received a contract from a corporation that would provide us enough revenues to pay our expenses, but make very little, if any, profit. In finalizing the paperwork for this contract, a question was asked. Who would pay for the payroll and overhead expenses for individuals hired to accomplish the work? Since I always figured that amount in my bid price, I, like I had always done in the past, initially responded that my company would cover these costs. However, something inside me, an instinct if you will, urged me to respond that I expected the prime contractor to cover that cost. So I followed my gut and changed my answer from my company to theirs. To my surprise, the contracting officer accepted this response. My profit increased from something negligible to a very substantial amount, which gave me enough working capital to comfortably plan for the following year. My point is that we shouldn't be so set in our ways that we don't take a few minutes to examine why it is we do what we do, especially if we're not happy when we get where we go. In this case, I teamed my intellectual nature with what I call awareness. I'll discuss the subject of awareness in my next post. Until then, here's hoping that you live today and every day passionately and with purpose. Thank you, and God bless.